Coco Gauff may already have made a risky decision ahead of the Australian Open in 2026. Coco Gauff's season was concluded just last week, as she bowed out of the WTA finals in the group stages. It marked an underwhelming title defense from the American, but likely ushered in a welcome rest as the off-season gets underway. Many have suggested that the 21-year-old needed this break more than most, given her well-documented issues. Her Roland Garros title was sensational, but it papered over the cracks of a struggling serve and a misfiring forehand. So, when Gauff announced she had hired a new coach, completely uprooting her staff on the eve of the US Open, many felt she had taken a big and bold step towards hopefully solving her outstanding issues. However, a decision she has now made regarding her 2026 schedule might already be a mistake that prohibits the progression she was set to make under Gavin McMillan. Coco Gauff announces she will play at the United Cup in 2026. Earlier this month, 18 countries released their lineups for the United Cup, boasting 5 of the world's top 10 men and 4 of the world's top 10 women. Naturally, the two-time champions from America will fancy their chances, spearheaded by Coco Gauff. The world number 3 will be joined by Taylor Fritz, and their former success has seen them tipped as the top seeds. Other teams consist of Iga Swiatek and Hubert Hurkacz, Alexander Zverev and Iva Liss, Stefanos Tsitsipas and Maria Sakkari, and Jack Draper and Emma Raducanu. However, whilst this lighthearted competition will afford Gauff an easy entry back into semi-competitive play, it might be an unnecessary risk for someone who needs time with their coach more than anyone. Coco Gauff would have benefited from more time with her new coach. Currently likely enjoying some much-needed rest, it will surely not be long before Gauff gets back to work. And, when she does, this could possibly be the most important training block of her young career. After all, McMillan is famed for fixing Aryna Sabalenka's serve many years ago, turning her from wasted potential into the best player in the world. Whilst she will argue that the United Cup provides a relaxed match environment in which to practice her new techniques, given the difficulties she has faced, focusing solely on training would not have hurt. The 2026 season is not even close to getting underway, and yet Gauff may already have made a crucial error that might define her year. From the outside, it may have looked like another deliberate, calculated move in Coco Gauff's rise. The hire of Gavin McMillan, the biomechanics expert who once overhauled Aryna Sabalenka's serve. On paper, reworking a technical weakness, double faults, seems exactly the kind of long-game investment a rising star would make. But what if, beneath the surface, that decision carried more peril than promise? As the 2026 Australian Open approaches, Gauff may be sitting on a high-stakes gamble. The high-risk rebuild. Gauff's serve has long been her Achilles heel. At the end of 2024, she parted ways with coach Matt Daly and brought in McMillan precisely because she didn't want to waste time continuing doing the wrong things. The Times of India +1 McMillan is renowned for his technical, methodical work. Tiny tweaks, hours and hours on the practice court, rebuilding rhythm, body mechanics, and serve motion from the ground up. That kind of reconstruction is rarely easy, let alone on the eve of a slam. Changing your serve isn't like adjusting your forehand grip. It can feel unnatural, temporarily less reliable, even uncomfortable. Muscle memory rebels. Confidence phrase. What if, instead of slowly building, Gauff's serve goes through a regression phase just when she most needs reliability, during Grand Slam pressure moments? The timing paradox. Here's where the risk deepens: the timing. Gauff made this pivot not in some off-season lull but as she was ramping up for big tournaments. That suggests she was willing to trade short-term consistency for long-term gain. But that's not a guarantee. Rebuilding under Grand Slam conditions means mistakes are real and the cost is high. Her performance at the 2025 Australian Open offers some clues. She entered in strong form, even sweeping past Sofia Kenin in a confident, attacking style. NDTV Sports +1 but by the quarterfinals things unraveled. She fell to Paula Badosa, and ESPN reported she was plagued by a barrage of unforced errors and a shaky serve. ESPN.com The evidence suggests that her reworked serve may not have fully matured under pressure. Moreover, Gauff has openly admitted she was struggling at times with her second serve earlier in the tournament, citing difficulty under Melbourne's sun. NDTV Sports that fragility points to a potential side effect of her technical overhaul, not yet fully trusting the new motion when it matters most. The psychological load. Tennis is as much a mental game as a physical one. For Gauff, this rebuild might be weighing on her mind more than anyone realizes. When you tear down a fundamental weapon like serve and rebuild it, you temporarily lose certainty. Every double fault, every weak second serve could be a mental setback, a reminder that you're in the middle of a renovation. At a slam, self-belief is fragile. Without it, even her brilliant defense and shot-making might not be enough. And then there is the public expectation. After hiring a top-tier serve coach, the narrative is, she's fixing her serve once and for all. The pressure to justify that decision is enormous. If the serve remains inconsistent, critics will question whether the technical reset was worth the disruption, and whether Gauff should have stuck with her old, familiar mechanics. The opportunity cost. By committing to a technical overhaul now, Gauff may also be sacrificing short-term opportunities. She's promising herself long-term dominance, perhaps even a world number 1 run, but if the rebuild costs her deep runs in majors, she might leave points on the table. Every early exit at a Grand Slam is not just a lost trophy chance. It's lost ranking, lost momentum, and lost confidence. Some commentators have already warned, while Gauff's chances remain high, her former coach Rick Matchy even predicted a world number 1 run around the corner. Tennis 365, there is still a gap to fill, and that gap may be more technical and psychological than many realize. The potential upside. Of course, this isn't just a gamble, it could be a masterstroke. If McMillan's work pays off, Gauff could emerge with a reliable first and second serve, giving her far more weapons in tight moments. The payoff. More free points, fewer double faults, better hold percentages in clutch games. That could vault her to the very top of women's tennis. The risk-reward calculation makes sense in her long-term vision. She's young in her prime and has time on her side. The fact she chose to rebuild now rather than wait suggests she's playing for legacy, not just the next slam. Attention in the air. As the 2026 Australian Open draws near, that tension crackles more visibly. Will the serve reset finally solidify? Or will the scars of the rebuild, the moments when technique fails under fire, haunt her? It's a rich narrative. A young star not just chasing titles, but reinventing herself, willing to risk a stumble if it means a breakthrough. In the locker rooms, in the practice courts, maybe Gauff feels it. The weight of expectation, the fine line between genius and miscalculation. For fans, it's a storyline more compelling than any match result yet.